Hi, today I wanted to share with you a concept that's been really, it's my dog barking, don't know if you can hear that, really invaluable to me in understanding the cycle that I go through when I am going through a period of change. Um, in this understanding, it helps me to prepare for what's ahead. It helps me to resource myself with the tools, with the strategies that help to propel me forward. And it helps me push through those barriers, many of which I create for myself, to continue towards my goals. So, what are the stages that we go through in a period of change? I'm Tara Jackson, Life Alignment Coach, helping you to cut through that overwhelm, find your potential, and step into your thriving life. So, when I talk about change here, I'm talking about voluntary change, the change that you choose for yourself. And whilst we absolutely go through cycles, when we go through involuntary change, the stages will look a little bit different. Change looks really different for everybody. But some examples could be taking on a course or a new period of study. It could be a change in job or even a change of roles within your job. Could be having a child or having a move, like a move to a new city. Could be taking on a new fitness plan or health plan, or just setting any new goal that you have or taking on a project. Whatever the change is, we all have a similar cycle. And this concept of the cycle of change, it's a concept that was developed by two psychologists called Don Kelly and Daryl Connor. And they identified 5 emotional stages that we go through. So stage 1 is called uninformed optimism, and I'm sure you can relate with this. This is when you just feel that fresh excitement for the project ahead. You have probably just made the decision, all of the potential is ahead of you, but you probably aren't overly aware of the challenges and the obstacles that you might face. An example would be for me, this year I signed up for a thing called Spring Challenge, which is a women's adventure race and a team. And it involves rafting and mountain biking and running, hiking. So for me, that was something I signed up for, and uninformed optimism looked like just that general excitement. It was me downloading training plans, and imagining the cool places I'd go, the fun times I'd have with my teammates, and just feeling really good about having a reason to train through winter. Once that initial excitement finishes, we move into stage 2, which is called informed pessimism. Almost the opposite of stage 1. This is where reality comes crashing down and you have the growing awareness of how much work is ahead of you. That initial excitement is wearing off, and you might even start to doubt your own ability to keep going, to achieve whatever it is that you've taken on. So in my example with Spring Challenge, this was once the training had started. Week 2, and I was already missing training sessions because of my other priorities, and I was just starting to realise the enormity of what I'd taken on. And this is the stage in informed pessimism where a lot of us, we quit, or we start to check out of the challenge that we have taken on. So some signs that might be happening to you would be procrastination, when procrastination kicks in, feeling really critical about the options ahead of you, or just a sense of general negativity in what you're doing. And whereas in the first stage we are so interested and excited in what we're doing, this is where you start to lose that interest. And so if you're sensing a lack of interest in the change ahead of you, this could be the stage that you're at. If you can keep at it, then you get to stage 3. And this can be referred to in a couple of ways, either hopeful realism or the valley of despair. Love that one, because for a lot of us, this is rock bottom. This is where we feel completely overwhelmed and totally ready to quit. But if we can keep at it, if we can keep touch with how far we've already come, if we can keep touch with why we made the decision in the first place, then we get to that place of hopeful realism where we understand that the worst is behind us and the only way is up. So in my example with Spring Challenge, once I got past that initial informed pessimism, I was able to keep touch with why I said yes to the challenge. And this is what kept me mostly in hopeful realism. I definitely haven't trained as much as I would have hoped. It's absolutely going to be hard. There's probably going to be plenty of times I'm miserable while I'm doing it, but I understand that I didn't sign up to come first or even necessarily to do it in a certain time frame. I signed up to take on a challenge, to push myself, and to do that with a really cool bunch of women. And so those goals I know will be achieved no matter what. So in whichever place you're at, hopeful realism or the valley of despair, you might be wanting it to be all finished. You want it to be over, but if you keep going, if you keep yourself going through, then you get to stage 4. And this is really on the up. This is informed optimism. This is where the pressure starts to ease, you start to enjoy yourself a whole lot more again, and you just start to, through your experience, feel more confident, probably more competent in what you're doing, and you're just less intimidated by it all. And there's no doubt that challenges will still come up, but when they do, you feel more resourced to deal with them. So in my example, that's where I'm at now. I feel like I have more clarity in where I'm at and in what I've undertaken. And I feel like I know what I need to do to have a great experience in spite of the challenge. Stage 5 is completion. That's where your goal has been fulfilled, where the change that you've made is in a more stable place. Habits have been formed and just a general norm has been established. You've found your rhythm, you've got things going. At a deeper level, you have that sense of satisfaction and pride in yourself and the change and challenge that you've undertaken. And if it is ongoing change, then you probably still have that understanding that challenges will keep cropping up, but you feel more resourced to deal with them along the way. So those are the 5 stages of the cycle of change. Once again, they're uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, hopeful realism or the valley of despair, depending on how you go in, informed optimism, and then completion. So I really encourage you to answer the question, what do each of these stages look like for you? Because the clearer you get in understanding that, the more resourced you'll be to deal with each stage and to keep moving forward till you reach your goal. And if you do need some extra support or direction in a period of change, then coaching can be a really fantastic option. That's exactly what coaching is designed to do, to support that process. And if you'd like to figure out if it's the right option for you and your situation, then you can sign up for a complimentary and no obligation clarity chat. I'll pop the link for that down below. Have a great day.